Stop monkeying around. It's time for a Chinese New Year movie review. Hi, welcome to the Silver Spleen. My name is Murray C. Cooper, and this is my review of The Monkey King 2. In 2014, Soi Chang directed Donnie Yen in The Monkey King. He was also the action director on the film. 2 years later, Soi Chang has directed a sequel. It stars Aaron Kwok in the titular role, and has Sammo Hung doing action choreography. That's right, it takes two regular men to replace Donnie Yen. Monkey King 2 takes place 500 years after the events of the first movie. The Monkey King is released from his confinement to undertake the journey to the west, along with a monk and two other humanoids. Along the way, they encounter a series of people, adventures, and situations that make up the plot of the film. Yes, I'm being vague. Cope. The most important figure our intrepid travelers meet is the White Bone Demon, which I've been called in Mongkok, but never mind. The demon is female and played by Gong Li, and she is fantastic in the role. She pulls off the appealing villain archetype with ease, grace, and 3 truckloads of watchability. Her performance may remind some people of Angelina Jolie in Maleficent. I say may because I didn't see that movie. Don't act surprised. Aaron Kwok does an even better job as the Monkey King than Donnie Yen did. It helps that Aaron Kwok was a dancer, so the physical part of the role really benefits. It's also good that the makeup in this installment makes it much easier for the actors to show emotions and, quite honestly, to be recognizable. Luckily for Aaron, the Monkey King also is a big, exuberant character, so Aaron Kwok's willingness to often do a lot of acting comes in handy here. But also, to be fair, there are a few moments where he is subtle and still very emotional without going too far.
Feng Shaofeng
Plays the monk. He does a really good job in the role, delivering a layered, thoughtful, and subtle performance. I admired it, but the screening that I saw was a Cantonese dub, and I honestly would have preferred to see the film in its original Mandarin, if only because I think the performances would have sounded better and been a little bit more convincing. I'm not saying they're not convincing, you know what I mean. The pig demon is played by
Jiao Shengyang,
who brings a decidedly adult spin to the character. Him La plays the sand demon, who looks like steroid Smurf. Kelly Chen once again plays the goddess of mercy. I don't know why, but I really like her in this role. Believe me, I'm as confounded as you are by that statement, but that's not important. What is important is that The Monkey King 2 represents a huge advancement in visual effects for Chinese films. How huge? I could have made a great leap forward joke there, but this movie is so good that I didn't, even though I just did. But never mind. The trailers give you some idea of the quality of this movie, but it's not until you sit in front of a massive cinema screen that you can really appreciate it. It's been released in 3D, but I watched the 2D version because I'm cheap like that. And while there are some painfully obvious 3D shots, I spent most of the movie just being really impressed by how nice it looked. To be honest, there's, a shot or two that could look better, but you could say that about any movie, especially if I'm in it. The other nice thing about it is that the visual effects in the movie sort of amplify the themes and the ideas. They don't overwhelm them. There are some overwhelming moments in the film, but those points in the story are themselves overwhelming. The tiger in the beginning of Monkey King 2 might not be convincing, but real tigers are harder to direct than Christian Bale, so I'm not mad. The other 90% of the effects could not look any better than they do, and they're great. The climactic battle evokes a video game boss fight, but it's still really engaging and exciting and entertaining. My only question about it is how and why does the skull have Chinese eyes? I was really impressed by this movie. It's not perfect, but there's a story, and they tell it to you, and there's some great acting, and it's entertaining, and it's fun, and it looks phenomenal. Now, to be honest, Monkey King 2 is, in a lot of ways, a movie for kids. Some of the humor is definitely aimed at people in the single-digit age range, judging by the audience reaction. But at the same time, some of the humor is surprisingly sexual, and the characters do occasionally get into these kind of intriguing existential discussions that are much more for grown-ups than kids. The movie shifts tone quite a bit, but strangely enough, I didn't mind. Speaking of strange, I really didn't expect to like The Monkey King 2. Alright, I expected to hate it. Probably because of the first one. But I didn't. And I have to say that I enjoyed, and perhaps more importantly, really admired this movie a lot more than I expected to. And not just because it's ostensibly a children's film that also happens to feature children being killed and eaten. Or because Christian Bale's stunt double finally got some work. As I said, I really enjoyed this movie. I intend to own it on DVD when it gets released, and I would encourage anybody to go and watch it. And I realize this is me saying this, but until you look at that thing, you cannot really appreciate just how nice it looks. And it's a good movie. It's a good Chinese New Year movie, so please go and watch it in the cinemas if you get the opportunity. If not, wait till you can buy it. Don't steal the movie. When it does get released to home video, I'm going to update the description with a link where you could buy it in a legal fashion. And if you enjoyed my review, please tell me. If you didn't enjoy it, well, tell me. If you enjoy the channel, please subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again soon.